This was one problem. Other problem was allocation wrong or trying to resell twice. That means some countries create some kind of operations that suddenly other traders from other part of Europe try to trade again. So this happened with Hungary, and in particular, there were a third problem that it was.
Here is not Jamaica or Nigeria.
Yeah, I believe. But as I told you, there are a lot of things that has to be driven by the government, because it's the only thing to create a direct channel. Related to the third problem is some countries like Serbia and Poland, they had some strange national allocation plan. This game that today you did at noon, it was a game based on the national allocation plan and the responsibility of every emitters in some particular countries. So there were a problem that finally the European Commission had to enforce the national allocation plan of each country, because the rule is dictated by the European Commission. Okay, let's go. So we are covering the market outlook and trying to see what happened internationally and what happened at the level of UK. This is domestic. So we could see here that internationally there were a lot of uncertainties to sign the second or third phase of Kyoto Protocol. Then there were internally a movement in the United Nations that they create a Plan B. So the Plan B is based on multilateral organizations, because at the end of the day, today, the multilateral organizations are creating contracts longer than 7 years or 10 years. So they are arriving to 2020. So this is a plan in the envelope that in any moment United Nations like to show, and particularly is under discussion in this international conference in Cancun. Other situation happening is the new rules that the European Union is starting to consider in order to include or not include CDM projects. They are talking about sustainability of different projects and also penalizing the value. At this moment, in the phase 2012, the CER has the same value that the ERUs, or quite close. About the CDM framework, everybody is saying that has to change. It's necessary to rethink the CDM process because it's tremendously a delay existing in United Nations. So what is the key problem is you have 180 methodologies. So each time that there are a verification for a particular project, the methodology is made tailored at project and not sector, or no a bundling of different methodologies. Other situation is UK, Japan, and Netherlands are working on CDM standardization rules. We will explain what does it mean that. At the end of the day, initially, when the CDM was sought, there were two main ways to go for CDM, for clean development mechanism. One was project by project, another was standardization. United Nations selected the more difficult one. We're going project by project. So, at the end, yeah.
Is the more difficult, or you just couldn't verify the standards?
No, it's quite quick to implement.
Okay.
So this is the advantage. The advantage is you tailor it so much that is limit to a project view. But if you are working with the standardization, you put several rules, and each project that is in the same category is going. Yes, it's not just project by project. It's for group of projects or sector. Then the voluntary market, the famous forestry, is on hold. So they continue strong discussions, and this week there will be more discussions. Everybody, the initiative started in Bali Action Plan. In Bali Action Plan, it's supposed that there were a focus in the same idea, but right now they started to diverge. So it's necessary to understand what happened next. Copenhagen Accord. Okay, they were quite nice, but nobody take obligations, just voluntary obligations, saying that they plan to reduce some potential emissions, etc. But they create a fund that is $30 billion in the first 3 years, 2010, 11, and 12, and 120 for until 2020. But the problem was that they create this fund. They create, okay, the developed country will pay, but nobody create the administrator of the fund. So it's ridiculous as usual. So nobody drive the wheel. And for instance, the project that I worked for the European Commission, it was paid with part of this fund. So the European Commission supported the project, saying that, okay, my participation is spent in this project in order to fund something called the fast track. Yes, it's a quick investment in order to deploy more clear monitoring, reporting, and verification of projects. Accountability, as the way that today we talk, transparency, longevity, and consistency of the project. Global linkage missing. That means, okay, it started, there are many plans, we prepare an UETS in this side. In the other corner appear, but nobody is talking each other. So it's necessary a mechanism in order to link the different markets. In that case, you could be profiting this opportunity to maybe go for several markets. But must be based in bilateral agreements. Because of that, it's quite important that Jamaica try to develop some pathway in order to connect with the European Commission that today, or European Union, that today is the only market available. Then appear crazy people like the World Trade Organization that said, let's do the carbon border adjustment. In the place to do the past 2050, they split it and they said, at the source, we do the carbon footprint, the transportation, and then it's equivalent to a commercial barrier for countries that has a dirty energy matrix, particularly China, India. So these solutions are focused on squeeze